Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage DC Fire and EMS Emerald Society Pipes and Drums. Please welcome to the stage your hosts for this evening from DC's bravest, Battalion Fire Chief Brian Palmer and Battalion Fire Chief Jeffrey Coombe.
Good evening, and welcome to DC Fire and EMS's annual awards ceremony and dinner. We are so happy to have you all here with us this evening. As Chief Palmer and I were invited, we came in tonight, and I looked at Chief Palmer as we walked in this beautiful place. We weren't on the DABA Awards, but we were asked so graciously to host, and I said, Brian, do you think this is how Chief Simmister feels when he shows up unannounced to box alarms in the 3rd Battalion?
That's right. It's been a remarkable year for DC Fire and EMS, and it's an honor to recognize our members on just some of their heroic accomplishments over the last year. We have some amazing stories to share with you, but first, dinner. And before we get started, please welcome to the stage the Executive Director of the DC Fire and EMS Foundation, Amy Morrow.
Good evening. It is my honor to welcome you to the DC Fire and EMS Department 2026 Annual Awards Ceremony and Dinner. We are so thrilled to be here tonight to celebrate DC's bravest and their great service to the residents and visitors of the District of Columbia. We would not be here tonight without the help of so many people. Months ago, when we were looking for a venue, we wanted to find a setting that would appropriately honor the work and sacrifices of our fire department employees in 2025. And I want to share with you that back in September, we hadn't really found the right place. So on a hope and a prayer, I wrote to the Mellon Auditorium and told them that this year we would be celebrating those who responded to the tragic mid-air collision in January 2025. And within 24 hours, I was on the phone with Susan Lance, the CEO of Ridgewell's Catering, who also manages the Mellon Auditorium. And Susan said, "We're gonna make this work for you, and it will be a beautiful evening." Thank you, Susan. And this really is beautiful, isn't it? Tonight is a celebration of so many things, including renewal and resilience. Tonight we will recognize loss, but we will also come together to lock arms and to look to the future together, to heal and to celebrate life. And it's those themes that I reflect on when I think about our chief sponsor, Global Medical Response. You know, we just came out of this very tough winter, and it reminded me of the winter of 2016, my first year as chief of staff of the department. Our EMS system was in such a different place then. Some of those days were so difficult, I remember that when the crocuses popped out of the ground in March, I was actually surprised. And then a few weeks later, on March 28th, we launched our partnership with GMR, and that was the turning point that would lead to historic improvements in DC EMS that would lead directly to saving more lives. And so it is appropriate to be here together on the occasion of the 10-year anniversary of that launch to celebrate what we have accomplished together. Thank you, GMR. That launch occurred 10 years after the tragic death of David Rosenbaum, which caused us to take a hard look at how we were treating our EMS patients. 20 years on, the Rosenbaum family is still partnering with our department, sponsoring a financial stipend to further the EMS educations of our paramedic and EMT of the year. Thank you to the Rosenbaum family. Toby and Dottie are here tonight. Thank you for taking this walk with us and for your ongoing support and belief that we can always improve and do better. And thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to AT&T FirstNet, our first platinum sponsor, and to those of you that have been with us every year since the foundation was revived in 2023. And to our first-time sponsors, I promise you that you are in for a treat tonight. Thank you for choosing the DC Fire and EMS family. And just a warning, once you experience our family, you will not want to leave, for better or for worse. I should know. And speaking of family, can the members of the Foundation Board of Directors who are here please raise your hands? Thank you for being here. And supporting DC's bravest through your work on the Foundation Board. We are also joined tonight by some of the families of Flight 5342. Laura, Lovey, Joe, Jennifer, Curtis, and your families. Thank you for being here. Our department's first responders will always be connected to you, and your presence is a testament to that. Thank you for being here tonight to help honor them. It is very meaningful, and we will always be here for you as well. And I want to express the same message to the family of Stephen Shipp. Sonia, Stephen Sr. and family, we are here for you. Tonight, we join together as a community to wrap our arms around the first responders and employees of the DC Fire and EMS Department. To the awardees, we know the last 16 months have been extraordinarily challenging for you. My hope is that tonight you can feel pride in what you have accomplished, and also that you will simply enjoy yourselves. You deserve it. I hope you see the beauty in this evening, even in the harder parts. As the poet Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." We celebrate your light tonight. Thank you, and enjoy dinner.
Thank you, Honor Guard. Please welcome to the stage DC Fire and EMS Chief John Donnelly.
Good evening, everyone. To our heroes and the families who stand behind them every day, welcome. Tonight is one of the most meaningful nights of our year. It is the night the department honors the brave men and women of the DC Fire and EMS Department for their extraordinary performance, their courage, and their commitment to the people of the District of Columbia. For me personally, it is also a moment to say something very simple and very sincere. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you do every day, often without recognition, often without rest, and always with a level of professionalism that upholds the finest traditions of this department. You represent our core values in everything that you do, and you make me proud to serve alongside you. Tonight, we will honor personnel who performed specific acts of bravery during the Potomac River plane crash. And I would like to provide a warm welcome to the family members of the victims who are in attendance tonight. Thank you for being here. Before we begin our awards program, I'd like to recognize some of our distinguished guests who joined us this evening. We are honored to be joined by Deputy Mayor Lindsay Appiah, she's my boss, you can clap louder. Assistant City Administrator Chris Rodriguez, the Mayor's Chief of Staff Tomas Talamante, Councilmember Brooke Pinto, who is a supporter of the Fire Department and the chair of our Oversight Committee, Local 36 President David Hoagland, Local 3721 President Aretha Lyles. Thank you all for your partnership, your leadership, and your continued support of our members and our mission. I would also like to take a moment to recognize my wife, Jermaine, whose support makes my work possible. To all the other spouses, partners, significant others, family members that are here tonight, thank you as well. The work we do is possible because you stand with us through late nights, long tours, and difficult days. You share the burden of this profession, and we are deeply grateful. We are also fortunate tonight to have a phenomenal group of guest MCs, and I want to extend an extended special thanks to them, starting with Brian Mitchell and Fred Smoot from the Washington Commanders, to Jennifer Hamady, Chair of the National Transportation Safety Board, and Amy Cho, an award-winning reporter from NBC News 4. I also want to offer my sincere appreciation to everyone who made tonight possible. Thank you to the Department Advisory Board of Awards, led by Battalion Chief Kevin Suji, who reviewed and rated each one of the cases we're honoring tonight. Thank you to our Public Information Office for coordinating this event and telling our story to the city we serve. And thank you to the Fire and EMS Foundation, led by Amy Morrow, whose support makes this night possible and helps ensure that our members receive the recognition they deserve. Tonight, we celebrate acts of bravery and of compassion, of skill, and of service. But more than that, we celebrate the people behind those acts, our firefighters, our EMS providers, our staff, and the families who stand with them. This department is strong because of you. Thank you for being here, all of you. Let's get on with tonight's program.
Good evening, DC Fire and EMS. It is a great honor to be here with you tonight on behalf of Mayor Bowser. My name is Chris Rodriguez, and I'm the Assistant City Administrator. Chief Donnelly, thank you for your extraordinary leadership of the department. I also want to recognize my colleague, the Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and Justice, Lindsay Appiah, who is a tireless advocate for this department, as well as all of our public safety initiatives here in the city. I want to recognize the family of firefighter and technician Stephen William Shipp, Jr. of Truck 7, Platoon 4. He lost his life in the line of duty after serving our great city for more than 20 years, with commitment, with courage, and with everything he had. And on behalf of our entire city and the Bowser administration, I share our love and prayers with his wife, Sonia, his children, Brenton, Casey, and Cameron, his daughter-in-law, Emily, and his grandchildren, Harper and Hadley. Now, as we celebrate tonight, I'd like to highlight some of your most impressive accomplishments. You've doubled our cardiac survival score over the past 10 years to 44.3% in 2024. That ties us with Washington State for best in the country. And some of that is because you've trained more than 150,000 people in hands-only CPR, so when someone has a cardiac emergency in our city, very often, help is very close by. The district's whole blood program has saved 450 lives in just the first 2 years. And you have helped launch our first nurse triage line and open our first stabilization center, 2 programs that help reduce the strain on our healthcare system and get people better connected to the right care at the right time. And whether you're responding to one of the more than 500 calls that you take each and every day, or taking on a major crisis like you did with your heroic efforts on the Potomac last year, this team makes our city proud, and you bring comfort and world-class care to the residents and visitors of the greatest city on the planet during some of their most frightening moments. So congratulations to all of tonight's honorees, and thank you to all of our firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, and civilian employees. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage DC Fire and EMS Foundation Co-Chair of the Board of Directors, Mr. Chandra Jayaraman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chandra Jayaraman. Before I make my remarks, I want to recognize a longtime friend of mine, Ms. Amy Mauro, who is the Executive Director of the DC Fire and EMS Foundation. For the past 4 years, she has really persevered and really helped make the foundation what it is today. It is through her incredible efforts that she's put this incredible event on tonight. And so, as a personal friend, I want to thank you for all that you do. So on behalf of the Board of Directors and Executive Director of the DC Fire and EMS Foundation, it is my honor to be here tonight. The Fire and EMS Champion Award represents something deeply important to us. It recognizes individuals and organizations who stand beside first responders, not only in moments of crisis, but in the long road of recovery that follows. It honors leadership, compassion, and a sustained commitment to the people who put their lives on the line every day to protect and serve our communities. This award recognizes not only a single moment, but a continued commitment to that mission. January 29, 2025 was a day of profound loss for Washington, D.C. and the nation. The mid-air collision over the Potomac River sent shockwaves through our community. The tragedy not only deeply affected the families and loved ones of those we lost, it also left a lasting impact on the first responders who answered the call. In that moment, our honoree understood something critical, that healing requires more than time. It requires support, recognition, and care. The Legacy on Ice event was a powerful and meaningful response, which our honoree generously hosted. It gave first responders a sense of honor and appreciation, while also creating a space for connection with victims' families. And through the Legacy on Ice grants, that impact will continue, supporting the wellness and operations of public safety organizations across our region for years to come. Through your leadership and Monumental Sports and Entertainment, you and your team have demonstrated what it truly means to stand with first responders. Your commitment, vision, and generosity embody the very spirit of the Fire and EMS Champion Award. It is with deep gratitude that we honor Mr. Ted Leonsis tonight. And I would like to call up Zach Leonsis, who serves as the President of Media and New Enterprises for Monumental Sports, to come up and accept the award on behalf of his father and the whole Leonsis family.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Chief Donnelly, Board President Jayaraman, and the DC Fire and EMS Foundation for this incredible honor. But really, thank you all for the work that you do every single day in service to our city. On behalf of my father, Ted, and our ownership group, and everyone across the Monumental Sports Entertainment family, I'm truly humbled to accept this recognition tonight. More importantly, I want to say that this award really belongs to the first responders and emergency personnel who serve this community with extraordinary courage and compassion. At Monumental, we believe sports are far more than what happens on the court or the ice. At their best, our teams and venues become places where communities come together in celebration, in hope, and sometimes grief. Legacy on Ice was one of those moments. It emerged from a profound tragedy, but what stood out the most was the way Washington, D.C. responded. This city did what it always does in its hardest moments. It showed up for one another. The response from DC Fire and EMS and the first responders across the region was nothing short of extraordinary. You brought professionalism, humanity, empathy, and strength to an unimaginable situation. And that spirit inspired all of us at Monumental to ask a simple question. How can we use our platform to help this city heal? As we planned the event, learning more about the lives behind the headlines, the victims, the families, and the first responders, we were deeply moved. Seeing the weight of that tragedy firsthand at MedStar Capital's Iceplex, the rink that some of those who we lost called home, made it profoundly personal. More than 200 staff members across Monumental helped bring Legacy on Ice together, and it became far more than just an event. It became a reflection of this city's resilience and unity. Our connection to the first responder community extends well beyond that night, too. Over the years, we've been proud to build a meaningful partnership with the DC Fire and EMS Foundation, along with many other organizations that honor and support those who serve, including Municipal Emergency Services, the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, and more through our initiatives across our teams. We're also fortunate to have members of our own organization with first responder backgrounds, including leaders like Eric Rhodes, Jeremy Bull, and Andre Wilmot on our venue security team. Their service and perspective continue to shape our culture internally at Monumental. And for me personally, our commitment to supporting first responders is reinforced through our broader work in the community, including with organizations called DC Central Kitchen, which provide meals for those responding to tragedies, and with my family's support for a state-of-the-art emergency department at MedStar Georgetown University Hospital as well. We're incredibly proud that Legacy on Ice helped raise meaningful support for victims' families and for organizations like the DC Fire and EMS Foundation. But what will stay with us most is the sense of unity that day. A sold-out arena of more than 15,000 people coming together as one. And so to everyone in this room who wears the uniform and answers the call every day, thank you. We are proud to stand alongside you, proud to support your mission, and proud to call this city home. Thank you very much.
All right, the moment we all been waiting for, awards time. Who's ready for some awards? All right, so before we get started with these awards, we have some important housekeeping instructions. You should have a program at your seat. When you hear the presenter talking about the award before the one you are about to receive, please make your way to stage right, which is on my right. Your left, my right. Got it? All right, when the presenter begins speaking about your award, you should go up the steps and stand on stage. Do not wait for the presentation to conclude. Once the presentation is complete, you will be recognized. As you leave the stage, to my left, walk off the stage, you receive your certificate and recognition off stage. We're excited to recognize you all, but it's important for you to move swiftly so we can keep the program running smoothly. Thank you.
With that, we'll get started with our first award. On September 26, 2025, Rescue Squad 2 responded to what they believed to be a routine elevator emergency at 2480 16th Street Northwest. It was nothing but. Per protocol, one member proceeded to the basement elevator pit to secure the power. There, he was shocked to find a severed arm at the base of the pit and immediately alerted the crew to a potentially critically injured patient inside the elevator. Finding the outer door of the elevator jammed and unable to be opened from the exterior, two members proceeded to the floor above, accessed the hatch of the elevator from the shaft, and gained access to the patient, who indeed had a severed arm at the shoulder. A tourniquet was applied, with the inner door also jammed and time of the essence. Hydraulic spreaders were used to spread open both doors to remove the patient, who was then placed in an adjacent elevator and brought to EMS personnel at ground level. For their skill, judgment, and ingenuity in handling this unusual incident, we are proud to present the members of Rescue Squad 2 with a Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award.
Next, on October 20th, 2025, Fireboat 3 responded on mutual aid to the Fort Washington Marine in Prince George's County, Maryland, for people in the water. Fireboat 3 was the first rescue boat on the scene. A sailboat had overturned, and a John boat that went to their assistance had also met the same fate, leaving 6 people in the water without personal flotation devices. Rescue swimmer, firefighter EMT Nicholas Gordon went into the water and assisted multiple victims to Fireboat 3, where Sergeant James McKnight helped them on board. Fireboat 3 was expertly operated by firefighter EMT Stephen Hayter in a safe manner in what was a precarious situation. After the victims were taken to land, Fireboat 3 assisted with recovering the overturned boats. For their efforts in rescuing 6 individuals from the water, we honor these members of the fireboat with a Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award. Tonight, we welcome back Brian Mitchell. He played 14 NFL seasons as one of the league's most dangerous return specialists, including helping Washington win Super Bowl 26 and setting multiple league records. He now brings the same intensity to TV and radio as a host and analyst. We also welcome back Fred Smoot. He led Washington interceptions for 3 straight seasons during his 9-year NFL career with Washington and Minnesota after a standout run at Mississippi State. You've heard his sharp takes on the air with his friend Brian Mitchell. For those of you who were here last year, you know how much Brian and Fred have come to love and support DC's Bravest, and we're excited to have them stand with you and present some awards. Thank you.
Good evening. How y'all doing? Before we get started, I'd like to just say, I'm happy to be here. I came here last year, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen a lot in my time, but you know what? I was very, very much impressed by the things that you all do. You know, what you do, I don't think I can ever do. But Fred, he can't do it either. I'm absolutely serious. I'm amazed at what you all do. Like they used to always say, you run to the trouble. I see that. And I think every family member that has met you all, and sometimes you can't save everybody, but they know how much you went out there and tried to do it. So I appreciate everything you all do. Thank you very much for it. You want to say something, Fred?
Oh, most definitely. Come on, let me talk. See, that's just the thing about it. He want
He's
to
a
hog the
little
mic.
brother. You got to treat little brothers like that, you know.
First of all, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what y'all do. Because in some of the worst moments of people's lives, when they hear that siren, they get hope. Because y'all give everybody hope. A second chance, a chance to live again. So I just want to thank y'all for what y'all do. Thank you so much.
All right. On the evening of June 14, 2025, firefighter paramedic Maisha Richards was off duty and traveling on I-295 when she came across a crash scene. Without hesitation, she pulled over and rushed to the crash location. There she found a woman in cardiac arrest. Richards immediately began high-quality chest compressions on the victim. Upon arrival of fire and the EMS units, Richards provided an update to the officer on her patient, as well as 2 additional unconscious victims. She then oversaw management of the patient in cardiac arrest, initiating a series of life-threatening interventions. Under her leadership, the cardiac patient regained spontaneous circulation, leaving her personal car on the highway. Firefighter paramedic Richards rolled with the medic unit to the hospital. For putting herself in significant danger on a busy highway and overseeing the stressful care of a victim in cardiac arrest, we honor firefighter paramedic Maisha Richards with a Class 2 Valor Award.
Thanks so much. On October 26, 2025, Rescue Squad 2 was the first unit to arrive at an apartment fire in 604 Kennedy Street Northwest, where they encountered a basement unit ablaze. with no engine yet on the scene and no protective hose line, fighter fires paramedic Robert Evans and the firefighters EMT Wayne Reed located the victim in the rear bedroom entrance of the fire apartment. Together, they removed the victim to the rear of the building and provided care until the arrival of the EMS units. For that action, we honor paramedic Robert Evans and firefighter EMT Wayne Reed with Class II Valor Awards. Congratulations, fellas.
What's the tack now?
On November 13, 2025, firefighter paramedic Spyro DeMarcus was in the firehouse when he was alerted to a citizen banging on a door to report a fire nearby. Investigating, he found a building at 4th Street and Rhode Island Avenue Northeast with an exterior fire that was rapidly spreading inside. Firefighter DeMarcus radioed in to report the blaze and directed nearby law enforcement officials to assist him with evacuating his occupied structure. With the fire entering the second-floor apartment, he conducted a quick search and, finding no victims, returned to the street and provided guidance to arriving units. For these actions, we honor firefighter paramedic. Is it Spiro or Spyro? Spiro. Okay, I want to make sure I'm right with that. Spiro DeMarcus with a Class II award for valor.
No, it's great.
On June 1st, 2025, Truck 16 was first due to structural fire at 1906 23rd Street Southeast. On arriving, Lieutenant Jason Leach and firefighter EMT Anthony O'Cone began to search for the burning apartment while firefighter EMT Emily Rulin threw the letters. Finding the fire in apartment 112, Truck 16 gained entry and began primary search. In the smoke and heat-filled apartment, while searching, firefighter Rulin shouted out that she had found the victim. Together, firefighter Rulin and O'Cone and Lieutenant Lurch and the firefighter paramedic Trevor Good carried the victim, who was in cardiac arrest, to safety outside and began CPR. Although the patient did not unfortunately survive, the efforts of these firefighters ensured that the patient had the best possibility for chance for survival. For their efforts, we honor the following operational employees of Truck 16 with a Class II Merit Award: Lieutenant Jason Lurch, firefighter EMT Anthony O'Cone, firefighter EMT Emily Rulin, and firefighter paramedic Trevor Good.
On December 22nd, 2025, Rescue Squad 3 arrived at 3442 Crawford Place Southeast, where a fire was visible coming from a basement apartment. Rescue Squad Team B, consisting of Sergeant David Shulnick and firefighter EMT Antoine Washington, proceeded the basement to conduct their search. There they found an occupant in the burning apartment and immediately began to bring the victim to safety on side A. With the assistance of another firefighter, they carried the victim up a flight of stairs where care was transferred to EMS. For their efforts in locating this victim in a hostile environment, we award Sergeant David Skulnick and firefighter EMT Antoine Washington with a Class II award for valor.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks. On December 27, 2025, firefighter Robert Myers of the Rescue Squad 1, using a thermal imaging camera, was the first to locate a burning apartment at 819 East Capitol Street Southeast. Working in this smoke, firefighter Myers found an unconscious victim in the bathroom and single-handedly dragged the victim through the burning apartment to the door. For his heroic effort, we honor him, firefighter Myers, with a Class II award for merit.
I'd like to welcome our partners from Children's Hospital to the stage. On April 2nd, 2025, Engine 20 and Medic 31 arrived at Deal Middle School to find a school staff performing CPR on a 13-year-old student in the gym. The crews reassessed and confirmed the student's heart had stopped again. They resumed chest compressions, supported breathing, and used a defibrillator to deliver a needed shock. A mechanical device provided steady, uninterrupted compressions while the team prepared the patient for transport and coordinated with EMS 5. The student regained pulse and began breathing. During movement and transport, the crews managed significant agitation to keep care safe and effective. They notified the receiving hospital and transferred care upon arrival. The student later fully recovered and went home. That's a great thing. This award recognizes clear communication, organized teamwork, and timely life-saving actions by Engine 20, Medic 31, and EMS 5.
On April 6th, during the Cherry Blossom events, responders arrived to find bystanders and event medical staff performing CPR on a 24-year-old woman in cardiac arrest. Crews immediately joined those efforts and coordinated with the U.S. Park Police to continue care and prepare the patients for transport through heavy event congestion. Because roads were blocked, the team arranged for the Park Police helicopter to reach the pad and fly her to the hospital. During the treatment, the woman regained a pulse, allowing responders to begin post-care and safely making her ready for air transport. This award honors the strong coordination between responders, bartenders, and event staff and Park Police, all who contribute to the patient's survival. On April 9th, firefighter Trevor Good, Sergeant Dan Lotz responded to a severe burnt patient whose airway was rapidly closing. Recognizing that the patient could not breathe on his own, the team performed a rarely used emergency procedure to open up the airway. The procedure was surgically, this is a hard word, folks. Now, I'm looking at this word, and I really want to give it to y'all.
Cracktomony.
Thank you. Cracktomony, which is seldomly completed in the field nationwide, and had not previously been performed by the fire or EMS providers. Their focused communication, their steady teamwork allowed them to complete the procedure safely, giving the patient a chance at survival. The receiving hospital and the department's medical director later stated that the patient likely would not have survived without these interventions. This award honors their clinical judgment and their ability to provide life-saving care in highly time-sensitive situations.
Fred?
Yes.
Can I come clean up a little, okay? Hold on. So I know it's overwhelming, all the great work that this department does, and Fred, your enthusiasm was such that we skipped an award. The Ohio...
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wasn't Fred.
Okay. The Ohio Drive runner who went into cardiac arrest. Let's call up the awardees for that one. Okay, it was not Fred's fault, it was the teleprompter.
I'm a hero like y'all a hero. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Technology, you can't rely on it.
There you go.
So Trevor's actually going to be up here 3 times tonight, but we missed him a moment ago. Trevor, great job. Thank you. And can we get a round of applause for our guest MCs? Thank you so much. Okay. The Benjamin C. Grenham Memorial Recognition is presented posthumously to the family of the firefighter who has died in the line of duty. This recognition is named after one of the first documented line of duty deaths in the department's history. Technician Stephen Shipp Jr. followed his father's footsteps and began his career with the DC Fire and EMS Department in 2004. He was a member of Recruit Class 336, and upon graduating from the training academy, was assigned to Engine Company 33. He transferred to Truck Company 7 in 2008 and became the truck driver on Platoon 4 in 2020. Platoon 4 became his home away from home. Steve was a role model technician. He provided leadership, mentorship, humor, strong work ethic, and skill, and he wasn't afraid to ask the tough questions when the fire chief visited the firehouse. He was dedicated to his crew and the Capitol Hill community that he served. Steve was the go-to firefighter for completing tasks and brought calmness and competence to the scene, something his battalion chiefs relied on. Technician Shipp believed in training and could be found drilling with his crew or teaching probationers or refreshing the skills of experienced firefighters. Steve's wit and humor made him a beloved figure at Engine 18 and Truck 7 and on Capitol Hill. Technician Shipp made the ultimate sacrifice on April 15, 2025 at 0700 hours, as his beloved Platoon 4 was assuming duty in Capitol Hill. We have a saying in the fire service of never forget, and our department will never forget the sacrifice that Steve and his family have made. We will never forget his legacy and advocacy for future firefighters. To Sonia, Brenton, Casey, Cameron, Harper, Hadley, and his parents, Captain Stephen Shipp Sr. and Lynn, we will never forget the sacrifices you have made, and we are deeply grateful for you for sharing Steve with us.
Good evening, everyone. I want to begin by thanking the department for honoring my husband with this award. I am deeply grateful, but at the same time wish this was for a different kind of recognition. On April 15th, it will be 1 year since Steve passed away, and to be honest, it still feels so surreal. Steve served 20 years with dedication and pride with DCFD, but the truth is, this was never just a job to him, it was who he was. He loved everything about being a firefighter, the adrenaline, the brotherhood, and the deep sense of purpose. He chose a path where every day meant putting his own life on the line to save others. Not everyone has the courage to run towards danger when others are running away, but he did, and without hesitation. He was promoted to technician at Truck 7 in October of 2020. He absolutely loved driving the truck. This was something he took great pride in. He had every intention of staying behind the wheel of Truck 7 until the day he retired. Steve loved his firehouse family. The guys at his house weren't just co-workers to him, they were his brothers. He carried that bond with him every day. He believed in it, he depended on it, and he gave that same loyalty and love right back. And as his family, we've seen firsthand that DCFD isn't just a department, it is a true brotherhood. When Steve was diagnosed with cancer, that brotherhood showed up in ways we will never forget. You stood beside him, fought alongside him, gave your time and your strength and your support. He was humbled by it. He knew he could never repay you, but he also knew you never expected him to. My husband was known for his wit and humor. He had a way of making people laugh even on the hardest days. That was one of his many gifts. I've heard so many stories of where in the middle of long shifts and difficult calls, he brought light into the room. I know that's how so many of us will remember him, with a smile, a joke, and a way of lifting everyone around him when they needed it most. And even during his own battle, Steve was thinking about others. He became an advocate for firefighters facing occupational cancer, sharing his story so that maybe, just maybe, the next person would have it a little easier. But beyond the uniform, Steve was a devoted family man. His 3 kids, Brenton, Casey, and Cameron, meant more to him than anything in the world. No matter how exhausted he was from coming home from a long 24-hour shift with no sleep, and sometimes 36 hours if he picked up overtime, he always showed up for his family. He made sure to be present in our lives and provide for us, even if it meant going straight to his part-time job without rest. That was just who he was, selfless, dedicated, and full of love. Losing him in the line of duty has left a space in our hearts that will never be filled. There are no words for that kind of loss. But standing here tonight, I am reminded that his life, his service, and his sacrifice matter. They are seen, they are honored, and they will never be forgotten. To the department, again, thank you for honoring my husband the way he deserves, and especially to his brothers, thank you. Thank you for loving him, for standing beside him, and for continuing to stand beside us. You carried us through our darkest days, and we will always be grateful. Steve, babe, we miss you more than words can say. We are so proud of the life you lived, the man you were, and the legacy you leave behind. Your courage, your heart, and your laughter will stay with us forever. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Davis, and I was Stephen Ship's best friend. Steve was one of a kind, one of the hardest working people I've ever met, always willing to engage in fun and hijinks, but also very determined to do a great job. He really did care. He had a very unusual personality. He was the biggest complainer I've ever met, possibly. But at the end of the day, he would do the job as well or better than anybody else possibly could. I mean, Steve and we used to play pranks constantly at the firehouse, whether it was throwing ice at each other, we were sitting down at a table. One day we filled the entire back of the ambulance with balloons, and then on our first run, made that patient the patient of the day and released the balloons when we pulled up. We had a lot of fun, a lot of fun. That time at Truck 7 was the best of my career, I will say. Lieutenant Dave Palmer, the driving instructor here, was like our third amigo.
Can you just tell me about Stephen?
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer because it would take an awful long time. My name's David Palmer. I was considered the third amigo of the group. Captain Complainer had a certain way with words that basically you were almost looking to give him something to complain about because it was a special time, and He brought joy and he brought a lot of camaraderie. You know, he had a certain way about him that he always brought the crew together. And a lot of times I think, you know, the crew rallied around him and he was the nucleus of the group.
We talked about it often, him and I, that we would never, the job would never be the same for us like it was during those days. So we really cherished those times. And I think it really was impactful as he got sick, right? Because we had those connections. You know, he evolved like a lot of us, right? He was constantly working on himself, always wanted to be a great person, not only for the job and his community, but for his wife and kids.
So wave bye. See you when you get back. Yeah.
What message would you give to his family?
I love them. I hope they understand how much they meant to him. I'm pretty sure they did, but towards the very end of his life, he wasn't really able to speak anymore. But just know how incredibly he loved them, and that, you know, as important as the job was and as hard as it was for him to leave it, especially under the circumstances he had to leave it, it paled in comparison to like the joy and love that they brought him.
He was always wanting to help out the next guy. And it kind of reminded me of the Jimmy V speech, if anybody recollects. He was a famous basketball coach who was terminally ill. And one of the last speeches he gave was he said, "Don't give up, don't ever get up. It may not help me, but it'll help the next guy." And that's what Steve did.
Just for the overhaul.
At this time, we'd like to call the Biazza family to the stage as we present this next award to the members of Engine 11, Truck 6, and Rescue Squad 2. Let's give them a warm welcome and thank them for being here. On November 7th, 2025, 16-year-old Justin Biazza and his 6-year-old brother, Jacob, found themselves trapped in the basement, threatened by smoke and fire. Their father, Will Biazza, had made a frantic call to 911 that alerted firefighters to his children's danger. Engine 11, Truck 6, and Rescue Squad 2 were dispatched for a basement fire with the report of children trapped at 4012 14th Street Northwest. Overcoming several obstacles that challenged efforts to reach the basement, the combined efforts of Truck 6, Rescue Squad 2, and Engine 11 led to the successful rescue of those 2 youngsters. This evening, we are proud to unite Justin, Jacob, and their father, Will, with their rescuers. For their efforts, the members of Engine 11, Truck 6, and Rescue Squad 2 are presented with a Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award. Mr. Biazza would like to make a few remarks, so welcome him to the podium.
Muy buenas noches.
Hello.
Hello,
A,
good evening.
a todas las autoridades presentes, soy Will Baiza, me presento entre ustedes con el corazón lleno de una gratitud.
Hello, good evening. My name is Will Biasa. I'm in front of you guys today with a heart full of love and gratitude, and I would like to say a few words.
Que las palabras difícilmente pueden alcanzar a expresar.
The words, they're not easy to express.
Como madre y como padre no existe mayor temor que de ver la vida de los hijos en peligro.
Like a mother or a father, there's no greater fear than to see your kids' lives in danger.
No existe mayor alivio que verlos hoy a mi lado.
I have so much pride and relief to see them today here by my side.
Gracias a la valentía inquebrantable mientras el mundo se detenía para mí.
Thanks to the great valor of these men behind me while the world was in suspense as I got the call.
Ustedes avanzaron con una determinación y profesionalismo para que los verdaderos héroes poseen.
You guys moved with determination and professionalism that only true heroes can move with.
No solo salvaron a mis hijos de las llamas, sino que salvan vidas día a día al mundo entero.
Not only did they save the life of my kids from the flames, but also all the lives that they save every day.
Estaré eternamente en deuda con cada uno de ustedes, no solo por su fuerza física, sino por la humanidad.
I will be eternally in debt and gratitude to each and every one of you, not only for your physical force, but also the humility and humanity that you moved with.
Y con la calma que nos brindaron en el momento más oscuro de nuestras vidas.
And for the great relief and calm that you brought us in the darkest day of our lives.
Gracias por devolverme la esperanza y sobre todo por devolverme a mi familia. Gracias por tomarnos en cuenta.
Thank you for giving me hope and most important of all, for giving me back my family. Thank you so much.
Y más que todo me gustaría darles un fuerte aplauso a todos los cuerpos de bomberos, darles un aplauso por su trabajo.
So let's give them a hand.
Jamás podré olvidar el día que esto sucedió. Sinceramente, como que la vida me ha vuelto, y gracias nuevamente por todo.
I'll never forget that day or this moment. Thank you so much for everything.
Our next guest MC is a true advocate for first responders nationwide. Chairman Jennifer Homendy of the National Transportation Safety Board has spent more than 2 decades improving safety across aviation, rail, transit, roadway, marine, and pipeline systems. We at DC Fire and EMS know her best for steady leadership after the January 29, 2025 mid-air collision over the Potomac, and for her constant push to make our streets, rails, and skies safer. Chairwoman Homendy moved her schedule around to join us tonight because she honors the work of DC's bravest and the lives they protect. I am deeply honored to welcome her to the stage.
All right, good evening, everyone. So thank you for those kind words, and thank you to the Foundation's board and staff for having me here this evening, and especially To my friend, thank you, Chief Donnelly, and his lovely wife, Jermaine, that I met this evening. Thank you. If you're not familiar with us, the National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, is a small but mighty federal agency that has about 405 dedicated safety professionals, which I'm going to pause for a moment, because this is a good time with all the talent in the room, and so much talent. Big round of applause again for everybody. Because now that I have you listening, even though I have 405 employees, I actually need 450. So I'm hiring, so ntsb.gov, usajobs.gov, my LinkedIn, my ex-posts, chair at ntsb.gov, however you would like to get a hold of me. No, why would you like to work with us? Because we lead investigations into our nation's highest profile transportation accidents, and that's across all modes of transportation. And our goal, yes, you can start the teleprompter again. Our goal, thankfully I know our goal, is to determine what happened, how it happened, why it happened, to prevent it from ever happening again. And that is the most important point, is to prevent it from happening again. The NTSB cannot carry out our vital safety mission without first responders like you and your families who make your service possible. You all embody public service at its finest. The NTSB and I are forever grateful, which is why the honor being here is actually mine. So thank you for that. Our common goal is to save lives. It's something you all excel at, as we have been hearing. And good news, there's a lot more to celebrate. But first, please join me in welcoming the Eastern Senior High School Choir for a performance.
on, if you know it, you ought to help us. And I lift my hands in total praise to you. Amen. Amen.
Last year on January 16th, a pickup truck with 2 occupants plunged off the Arlington Memorial Bridge and submerged into the icy Potomac River. The accident brought a combined response from DC Fire and EMS, the Metropolitan Police Harbor Unit, and Arlington County Fire and Rescue. Once the overturned vehicle was located, fireboat diver firefighter Jeffrey Leonard entered the water. Descending 18 feet, he attached a marker buoy to a tire and, searching the cabin through an open passenger door, located a belted male passenger. Leonard cut the seatbelt, extricated the patient, and brought the victim to the surface for handoff to the boat crew. Another diver, firefighter Jeffrey Mathias of Rescue Squad 1, descended to the vehicle after Leonard and conducted a thorough 360-degree perimeter search. Both dives took place under extreme personal risk and required the highest skill and judgment. We are proud to present firefighter EMT Jeffrey Leonard and firefighter EMT Jeffrey Mathias with Class 1 bronze bars for valor. The rescue and recovery operation that followed involved numerous operational employees. For their efforts, we're proud to present the Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award for operational employees from the Fireboat and Rescue Squads 1 and 3. I'd now like to call the families of Flight 5342 to join me on stage. Over time, they've also become my family. On January 29th, 2025, tragedy took place over the Potomac River when a U.S. Army helicopter collided in flight with American Airlines Flight 5342 near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. As both aircraft plunged into the Potomac, operational employees from the DC Fire and EMS Department led the initial rescue efforts and subsequent recovery operations. I will never forget the NTSB, will never forget the heroism we saw firsthand. For their unwavering efforts and bravery in this incredible mission, the operational employees of the Fire and EMS Dive Team are honored today with a Class 1-5 Bronze Bar for Valor. As you'll see in the video or are watching right now, the mid-air collision response and recovery required an extraordinarily complex, coordinated effort from the department. So many of DC's bravest played a key role in this mission. We pay tribute to these operational employees with the Class 1 Bronze Bar for Merit and the Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award.
Oh, we're front and center. Yep, you know that.
Come on up here. Look at that. I mean, it really, we families lost 67 people that day. Our nation lost 67 people. But these incredible responders just were there day in, day out for so many days, weeks, months afterwards. Thank you so much for all that you did for the families, for other loved ones, and just for our nation, for safety. Thank you. Thank you. Great job.
Is that who you had right there?
On September 19th, 2025, shortly before dawn, fireboats 3 and 4 were dispatched after a woman jumped into the Potomac River from the Virginia side of the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. On arrival, the responders saw the victim, a middle-aged woman who was actively drowning. As Fireboat 3 maneuvered within 10 feet of the victim, firefighter EMT Nicholas Gordon, who had already donned his Mustang dry suit and PPE, leapt into the river and swam to her. Gordon took hold of the victim and swam her to Fireboat 3, where she was pulled aboard. For his actions in saving a person from drowning, we present firefighter EMT Nicholas Gordon with a Class 1 Bronze Bar for Valor. In order to complete the rescue effort, Marine pilot Charles Isbell and Marine engineer Joshua Otterbacher expertly maneuvered the boat and assisted with getting the victim aboard Fireboat 3. Otterbacher then provided primary care to the patient, while Isbell brought the boat to the Virginia shoreline, where care was transferred to land-based EMS. For their efforts in this successful rescue, we present Marine pilot Charles Isbell and Marine engineer Joshua Otterbacher with a Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award. It is now my great honor to recognize the Company of the Year, an award given for overall outstanding service at the scene of emergencies and in duties around the station. The Fireboat Company exemplifies the highest standard of readiness, professionalism, and service, and excels in preparedness and training and in its unparalleled safety culture. These attributes were on full display during the fireboat's response to the two extraordinary challenging incidents I just spoke about, the mid-air collision near DCA and the submerged vehicle near the Arlington Memorial Bridge. In both cases, the company demonstrated superior operational skill and resilience. Their actions are reflected in the number of awards for valor and merit that their members have received this year alone. For these reasons, today we present the Company of the Year Award to the officers and members of the Fireboat. With that, allow me to once again share my heartfelt congratulations to tonight's winners, along with my enduring thanks for all that you do every day of the year. Now I'd like to welcome the Eastern Senior High School Concert Choir back to the stage.
Broken down and tired from living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out and move mountains. We gon' walk it out and move mountains, and I'll rise up like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the hate. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise I'll bring the world to its feet and move mountains and move mountains, and I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other, yeah. We will rise, we will rise, we will rise, oh, we'll rise. I like the wave I rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. I'll rise up. I like the wave. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up. I like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. For you,
Can we give it up again for Eastern High School's concert choir? Awesome, awesome. The Ramblers, the Ramblers. All right. So for our final guest, MC of the evening, is deeply committed to the district and telling the stories of first responders. Amy Cho is an award-winning reporter and anchor with NBC4. She grew up in Great Falls, graduated from Cornell, and has earned multiple regional Emmys and Chesapeake AP Broadcaster Awards. Amy is also a cancer survivor whose strength inspires many in this region. She joins us tonight to help us tell the stories to celebrate the service and the courage of DC's bravest.
Everyone, thank you so much for having me. It is such a privilege and an honor to be here with you tonight. If I look familiar to you guys, it's because I'm the reporter that's always showing up at your scenes and getting an up-close look at everything you do. And I have to say, every time I arrive at one of those fire scenes, I'm so blown away by the professionalism and the bravery and the care and compassion you show each and every day as you are literally putting your lives on the line to take care of district residents. So truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you do. Perhaps some of you have responded even to NBC for a few calls we've had over the years. We had a ladder rescue when a couple employees got stuck in a broadcast tower. We've had a few other things. We had some folks who were parking their cars in the fire lane, so you all made sure to get us in shape real quick. So thank you, whether you're responding to Nebraska Ave or anywhere else in DC. Truly, such appreciation for the work that you do. Tonight, we celebrate the people whose work defines the very best of the DC Fire and EMS Department. Every day, across every corner of this city, DC Fire and EMS employees show professionalism, compassion, and a deep commitment to public service. And among them are individuals whose impact has been truly extraordinary. This year's honorees represent the full strength of the department, from administrative professionals who keep complex systems running to EMTs, paramedics, firefighters, and officers who respond with skill and heart when the community needs them most. Their stories reflect leadership, innovation, mentorship, and quiet acts of dedication that often go unseen but never go unfelt. What unites them is simple. They lift others, they strengthen teams, build trust, and make the department better every single day. Whether they are shaping how you communicate with the public, guiding new cadets, improving safety programs, mentoring the next generation of providers, or delivering life-changing care in moments of crisis, each one embodies service at its very highest level. The video you're about to see shares their stories in the words of those who nominated them, the colleagues who witnessed their character, their work ethic, and their commitment firsthand. Please take a look.
Good evening. I'm Deputy Fire Chief Ward, and I'm excited to see Vito Maggiolo recognized as the Administrative Employee of the Year. Vito had a very long and successful career in media. While working in media, he also spent many decades, countless hours, capturing the brave acts that our men and women perform on a regular basis. These images and videos allow us to tell our story both internally and to the community we serve. While in retirement, Vito decided to apply and was picked to become our Public Information Officer. This role allowed him to tell our story full-time. Now in his 10th year as PIO, he has dramatically shaped the way our department interacts with the community and local and national media. His perspective and relationships have allowed us to promote the positive, something he was used to doing. Our community, reporters, and employees can count on Vito to provide timely and accurate incident updates and pictures. Keeping the public informed has directly led to increased public confidence. Vito is committed to telling our story 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which displays unmatched dedication. His keen ear for radio transmissions and knowledge of our operations enable him to be where the action is. During the mid-air collision, Vito was one of the first PIOs on scene. He liaised with command staff, MPD, and EOM and began working on strategies to keep the public informed. Keeping the families informed and updated was one of our critical incident objectives. Throughout the days after the collision, he could be found in the Unified Command Post and Joint Information Center. He was there to support our department and the countless other PIOs who all worked together to bring the incident to a close.
Technician Clements exemplifies the highest standards of professionalism, courage, technical expertise, and community service. Her performance over the past year has not only strengthened Engine Company 15, but has also elevated the reputation of the department. Throughout the year, Technician Clements has consistently demonstrated exceptional operational readiness and mastery of her craft. I was honored to nominate firefighter paramedic Allison Eggleston for Paramedic of the Year. Her ability to identify subtle symptoms, her consistent delivery of high-quality patient care, and her broader contribution to EMS operations makes her an outstanding candidate for Paramedic of the Year. Her presence strengthens every crew she works with, and her dedication enhances the department's reputation for high-quality pre-hospital care.
I'm Deputy Fire Chief Ryan Elborn. Firefighter EMT Curtis Bryan exemplifies professionalism, compassion, and dedication to both his patients and colleagues. Curtis connects with patients and provides reassurance during their most vulnerable moments. Curtis's integrity as a provider enables him to gain the trust of his patients and provide exceptional clinical care. Firefighter EMT Curtis Bryan is a leader in the ranks, a mentor, and a model firefighter EMT.
Hello, this is Deputy Fire Chief Pagel. I've nominated Lieutenant Rashonda Drake for Officer of the Year because of her exceptional leadership, mentorship, and compassion. She has been a steady, trusted leader for our cadets and has made a lasting impact on their growth, resilience, and success.
My name is Battalion Fire Chief Eric Wicklund, and I'm proud to recognize Lieutenant Michael Stevenson. Lieutenant Stevenson's leadership in the firehouse sets a strong example for all. Through his work at the training academy, he continues to better the fire department and help prepare others for success. On incident scenes, he is consistently demonstrating high levels of competence and operational discipline. It is his dedication to commitment and improving the fire department that truly sets him apart. I am honored to have nominated him.
Hello, this is Deputy Fire Chief Sean Brooks of the Health, Safety, and Wellness Division. I'm honored to nominate Battalion Fire Chief Russell Smith IV for Chief Officer of the Year. Chief Smith consistently delivers excellent performance in his role with the Safety Office. He demonstrates outstanding reliability, professionalism, and strong decision-making every single day. Russ is the kind of leader who leads by example and quietly makes everyone around him better. He truly deserves this recognition for his outstanding leadership.
As a reporter, I just have to give a shout out to Vito Maggiolo because every single reporter in DC knows Vito. He's such a legend. I don't know when the man ever sleeps because he is literally updating social media 24/7 with all of the great things you guys are working on. But he has just been such a amazing person to work with over the years, and also a newlywed. So congratulations to him and all of the award winners on their very well-deserved honors. And DC Fire would also like to extend a sincere thanks to the Rosenbaum family for their continued support of EMS excellence. Their generosity ensures that the recipients of the EMT and paramedic awards can continue to grow and advance professionally, benefiting the residents that are served. To every one of our Employees of the Year, congratulations. Your dedication inspires us, strengthens the mission, and reminds the entire city what it means to serve with integrity, courage, and heart. All right, on April 9th, units responded around 7 a.m. for a 50-year-old woman who was unconscious and not breathing. Engine 15 began CPR and applied a defibrillator, which showed a dangerous heart rhythm. They delivered a shock and continued care. The team from Medic 19 joined, and together the crews provided advanced treatment, breathing support, and multiple defibrillation attempts as needed. Recognizing the urgency, crews prepared the patient for rapid transport to MedStar Washington Hospital Center. En route, the patient regained a pulse and began breathing again. Hospital staff received a clear handoff, and the patient was admitted for further care, and she later made a full recovery. This award honors decisive action, disciplined teamwork, and sustained effort that led to survival. All right, so let's bring Children's National back up to the stage. Engine 9, Truck 9, and Medic 21 responded to a drowning involving a 14-year-old boy at a community pool on April 17th. Crews arrived to find lifeguards performing CPR after pulling the teen from the water. Lifeguards reported he had been underwater for about 30 seconds. Responders reassessed the boy and confirmed that although his heart had restarted, he was not breathing well enough on his own. The teams worked together to support the boy's breathing, monitored his vital signs, and used equipment designed to help clear his lungs of remaining water. They continued stabilizing him throughout transport and maintained close coordination with the receiving hospital. Crews, pause again. Congratulations. All right, crews arrived to find a 24-year-old woman in cardiac arrest while family members performed CPR. She was a healthy college athlete recovering from leg fracture surgery, which complicated the situation and masked the underlying cause, later found to be multiple large blood clots in the lungs. Responders initiated fast, coordinated resuscitation, CPR, breathing support, and preparation for transport. The woman regained a pulse at the scene and reached the hospital with a chance for recovery. She was treated for blood clots in the intensive care unit, recovered quickly, and returned home neurologically intact, which is an outcome that is uncommon for cases of this type. Congratulations. All right, this award recognizes clinical judgment, readiness, and teamwork that delivered effective care during a complex medical emergency. Our next meritorious pre-hospital care award recognizes Engine 14, Medic 17, EMS 4, and the MPD officer who assisted during a cardiac arrest at South Dakota Avenue and Hamilton Street Northeast. Responders arrived to find an MPD officer performing CPR on Deanna Costin, who had collapsed next to her car. The patient was not breathing and had no pulse. Engine 14 took over CPR and applied a defibrillator, delivering a shock as Medic 17 was arriving. The combined team provided coordinated life-saving care, including breathing support and emergency medications, all while working in the street under challenging conditions. Their efforts restored the woman's pulse before she was transported to Washington Hospital Center for intensive care. Deanna is here with us tonight, and her survival is a direct result of the training, communication, and teamwork demonstrated by the MPD officer and all fire and EMS members on scene. This award honors their dedication, skill, and professionalism they bring to the community each and every day. Congratulations.
She's here. Oh. Good evening, everybody. I'm sorry, y'all. First, I want to take the time to thank you all. Without you all, I wouldn't be here or be able to take care of my 10 children and 2 grandchildren. I'm gratefully blessed for all the hard work y'all did for me, and I truly appreciate it.
What an incredible testimonial, and Deanna, so glad that you are doing well. All right, I think we're going to be playing a video now. On April 25th, 2025, a fire broke out in a 10th floor apartment at 325 P Street Southwest, which eventually required a second alarm assignment. Engine 16 was assigned as the 5th due engine on the box. They were ordered to Side A and instructed to take their 400 pre-connected attack line to the fire floor, although there were 2 other engine companies attempting to hook up to the standpipe risers. Both were encountering difficulties. Engine 16 was able to advance their line to the 10th floor rapidly and flawlessly. This required the hose line to go through the lobby, down the hallway, and up 10 flights of stairs. As a result, they were the only company to get water on the fire. In fact, the fire was put out within 2 minutes of their line being charged. We honor the crew of Engine 16 with a Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award. Congratulations. On April 21st, 2025, Truck Company 15 was dispatched for the report of a sick person inside a vehicle at New York and South Dakota Avenues Northeast. Arriving on the scene, Truck 15's crew found an unresponsive adult and teenager inside the vehicle. Although an initial assessment suggested an opioid overdose, Lieutenant James Turner decided to utilize the carbon monoxide meter and quickly detected dangerously elevated levels of CO inside the car. Now that the nature of the emergency was clear, the crew took decisive action ventilating the patients and using positive pressure ventilation to reduce the CO levels. 2 medic units and an EMS supervisor were also requested. Upon arrival at the hospital, it was confirmed that both patients were suffering from near lethal levels of CO poisoning. For their prompt, precise, and professional evaluation and response to this situation, which could have had fatal results, we present the crew of Truck 15 with a Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award. Congratulations. Oh, they're not here, but congratulations anyways. All right, on April 28th, 2025, Truck Company 6 and Engine Company 24 responded to what were 2 arson fires at the front door entranceways of 1401 and 1403 Buchanan Streets Northwest. The more serious of these blazes was in 1403, where fire had extended from the front door to the interior stairs, trapping occupants above. One occupant appeared at a second floor window on the B side of the home, threatening to jump. As the lieutenant of Engine 11 urged the occupant not to jump, firefighter technician Michael Steinhardt and firefighter EMT James Riley rapidly deployed a ground ladder and physically secured the resident, who was just moments away from jumping, potentially causing serious injury or death. At the same time, an aggressive attack by Engine 24 knocked down and contained the fire, which had extended to the second floor. For their prompt response and decisive and coordinated actions, we honor the crews of Truck 6 and Engine 24, Platoon 4, with a Class 2 Merit Unit Citation Award. Congratulations. All right, our next meritorious pre-hospital care award recognizes Rescue Squad 1, Medic 7, EMS 6, and the MPD officer and AMR personnel who assisted during a sudden cardiac arrest witnessed by bystanders on October 22nd. Bystanders called 911 after seeing an adult collapse face first onto the street. When AMR arrived, they found the patient unresponsive, not breathing, and without a pulse. They immediately began CPR and delivered a shock using an automated defibrillator. At that moment, Squad 1, whose crew had been conducting a rope drill on a nearby rooftop, ran over to help. Medic 7 and EMS 6 arrived shortly afterward. Advanced providers found the patient's heart in a dangerous rhythm and delivered a second shock. They applied a mechanical device to maintain chest compressions, secured access for emergency medications, and supported the patient's breathing. A short time later, the team reassessed and found a strong pulse. The patient had regained circulation. Crews transported the patient to the hospital as a high priority case where further care continued. Congratulations. This award recognizes the fast actions, coordination, and readiness of all responders whose efforts brought this patient back to life. On November 26, 2025, Engine 16, Medic 3, and EMS 6 responded to a shooting involving 3 people, including 2 National Guard members. The scene was crowded with pedestrians and active law enforcement activity, requiring responders to work carefully and quickly. Crews located the victims, provided immediate bleeding control and breathing support, and coordinated with police to ensure safe movement of patients. Their actions allowed 1 National Guard member's family to visit before he passed away the next day. Their care also sustained the 2nd Guard member long enough to reach the hospital in critical conditions, where he survived because of the rapid interventions provided at the scene. Thank you very much. This award recognizes the professionalism and teamwork shown during an extremely complex and fast-moving incident. On December 10th, 2025, units responded for a 13-month-old child in cardiac arrest. Guided by the 911 call taker, the child's mother began CPR before Engine 6 arrived. Engine 6 took over compressions and breathing support. ALS crews arrived within minutes, and the team identified a likely airway blockage from food. They provided 2 rounds of CPR, cleared the airway, and the child's pulse returned. Crews maintained careful breathing support, prepared for transport, and moved the child safely to the hospital. The child arrived alert and crying. The rapid response, clear communication, and teamwork from the dispatcher to the mother. Engine 6, Medic 17, Medic 19, and EMS 1 saved a life. This award honors exemplary coordination and age-appropriate emergency care delivered under intense time pressure. Congratulations. All right, we would like to call our partners from George Washington University Hospital to the stage. On September 15th, Brian Smith suffered a cardiac arrest in a downtown Washington office. Engine and Truck 9 arrived together, and crews began CPR, provided breathing support, used a defibrillator, and administered needed medications. Because the building entrance was difficult to navigate, members searched and found a rear exit to speed patient movement. After Brian regained a pulse, the team transferred care to Medic 2 for transport. The patient later regained consciousness at the hospital, and weeks afterward was able to visit Engine 9 to thank the crew and reported a full recovery with no lasting effects. Tonight, we are so delighted to have Mr. Smith join us on stage to once again express appreciation to his lifesavers. Let's hear it.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, DC Fire and EMS Foundation for having me here tonight. I'm here to celebrate DC Engine number 9. On September 15th, I suffered cardiac arrest at work in DuPont Circle. Thankfully, I had 3 colleagues with me at the time, Meg, Giovanna, and Gary, who were CPR rock stars, according to my coworkers. So I need to shout them out and thank them. Engine number 9 shows up, and as Lieutenant Fitzgerald told me, you weren't technically dead, but you also weren't very alive. Lieutenant Fitzgerald has jokes, but it was awesome. And there was enough, also in his words, enough there to work with, and work with it they did. They saved my life. I'm still here in all my capacities, in all my roles, as a friend, a best friend, a father, a son, a brother. I'm all of these things because of the great care and comfort of Engine number 9. I can't tell you how overwhelming it is to stand on a stage and thank people who saved your life. It is a tremendous, tremendous thing, and I don't take it for granted any day that I have. You all on number 9 and everybody else in this room contribute so much to our city and to our community. And I'm just proud to be able to stand up here and say thank you. And thank you to everybody for all your efforts tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations again, and so glad to see that you are doing well. All right, 2025 saw the implementation of the Telestaff PeopleSoft Work Group Integration Project. This required navigation of complex software systems and collaboration across multiple teams to ensure a seamless integration of 2 mission-critical platforms, an achievement that directly enhances operational efficiency and payroll accuracy for the entire agency of over 2,100 employees. The leadership, commitment, and technical expertise of this matrix team was critical to its successful outcome. Working collaboratively, they anticipated challenges and implemented solutions that strengthened the department's operations. Their professionalism, innovation, and commitment to service set a standard of excellence that inspires those around them. I am honored to award the Administrative Unit Citation. Congratulations. In 2025, the DC Fire and EMS Department received a Class 1 Insurance Services Office Public Protection Classification rating. This designation represents the highest level of fire protection performance and reflects the collective excellence, professionalism, and sustained commitment of the entire department. Battalion Fire Chief Kevin Suji served as the department's primary point of contact throughout the ISO review process. Chief Suji demonstrated exceptional leadership, coordination, and attention to detail while working across divisions to compile documentation, validate operational practices, and ensure the department accurately demonstrated compliance with ISO standards. For his critical role in this milestone accomplishment, we are honoring Battalion Chief Kevin Suji with a Fire Chief's Excellence Award. Congratulations. And now please turn your attention to the video screens once more.
Engine 26 units started. Come from the outside and the throttle water, okay? We'll let you know who they are when they get here. No. Charge over. Ready for the mitigate. Copy, over Charlie time.
On March 15th, 2025, while battling a fierce basement fire, an operational employee of Rescue Squad 1 fell through the first floor into the burning basement. A mayday was immediately declared. We're gonna keep scrolling. All right. An operational employee fell through the first floor of the basement. Responding to this distress call, Engine 10's crew, consisting of Lieutenant Andrew Weikart, firefighter EMT Michael Mayhew, and firefighter EMT Kojo Saunders, were directed to where the firefighter plunged into the basement. Determined to protect the operational employee who had fallen by directing their hose line into the hole, firefighter Mayhew positioned himself over the hole, lying flat to distribute his weight on the unstable floor, and directed the hose stream into the gap. Lieutenant Weikart positioned himself prone on the floor and bear hugged Mayhew's legs in the event of further collapse. Firefighter Saunders also laid himself prone on the floor and secured the lieutenant's legs. Now, as this was all taking place, fire was coming up the basement stairs behind them. Once the downed firefighter was rescued, the Engine 10 crew repositioned to attack the fire behind them. For their efforts in protecting the downed firefighter while placing themselves in extreme harm's way, Lieutenant Andrew Weikart, firefighter EMT Michael Mayhew, and firefighter EMT Kojo Saunders are presented with Class 1 bronze bars for valor. Congratulations. All right, so we have another video. On September 30th, 2025, Rescue Squad 3 responded to a basement fire at 62 Galveston Place Southwest. Squad 3 firefighter EMT Michael Abel, while conducting a search in superheated conditions and zero visibility without protection of a hose line, located an unconscious victim on the second floor landing and began removal of the victim. With help from other operational employees of the squad, the victim, who was pulseless, was removed to the street where efforts to revive the patient were successful. Firefighter Abel then returned to continue searching, and he located a special needs adult male in a second floor apartment. He assisted the unwilling man to the apartment balcony and stayed with him, preventing his efforts to return to the smoke-filled apartment. For his efforts in saving one life and preventing further harm to another, we present firefighter EMT Michael Abel with a Class 1 bronze bar for valor. Congratulations. All right, I think that brings us to the end. Oh, no, we have a couple more things.
We have a special announcement from the president of Local 36, David Hoagland.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks everybody for attending. I want to say a special thank you to all the guest MCs who came out here and recognized all the brave work that our members do every day. Immediately following the ceremony, we're going to sponsor the early beginnings of a after party at the View Rooftop at the W Hotel, so I have confidence in our members that consumption tab will be gone in about 10 minutes. But come on up there, we can celebrate responsibly, and thank you all for another year of hard work.
Can we hear it again for our guest MCs, including Amy Cho? Thank you so much.
Yep. So with that brings us to the end of tonight's award presentation. What an extraordinary evening it has been.
We are so honored to have joined you tonight and to recognize the DC Fire and Emergency Medical Service Department for your continued selfless service to our community.
Thank you and good night.
Drive safe.